students, welcome back to this channel. I'm of course Math 1. In the last episode, we have learned how to use a calculator to find the roots of quadratic equations and write the step backward, and then pretending we are using the course method. Today's episode is a continuation of the study of the factor method. We will learn how to combine some knowledge of factorizations, identities, and of course the factor method. But before we start, let's subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Hit the bell and take a cup of tea or coffee, sit back and relax. In this episode, we still need to use a calculator to find the answer of the equations. But before we do that, we need to simplify the equation in a way that there is ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, we input abc in the program and get the answer. We need to simplify it. But what kind of skill we need to simplify the equations? Okay, we can take a look of the slide. We need to perform the following skill before we use the factor method. Okay, they are broken terms and some identity. I think you should be familiar with these identities. Okay, and we will combine all the knowledge we have learned and use it to simplify the equations. Okay, let's look at number one. At the left hand side is x times x plus 5. The other side x plus 5. It's very simple. We just need to break the brackets and move all the things to the left hand side. X squared plus 5x minus x minus 5. When you move the right hand side to the left hand side, remember to change side. Okay, it becomes x squared minus plus 4x minus 5 is 0. You can use the calculator, but this one is very easy. If you use course methods, is really easy. It should be negative 1 and positive 5. Negative 1x plus 5x is positive 4x. So let's steps x minus 1, x plus 5 is 0, and then x minus 1 is 0, or x plus 5 is 0. So x is 1, or x is 0 to negative 5. Okay, this is the one way you can do it. Okay, you just multiply the brackets in the left hand side. But there is another way to solve these questions. Copy the question first, and then move the x plus 5 in the right hand side to the left. But I do one more thing. I use a bracket to contain the right hand side. Why do I do that? When I observe the equation, I notice that there is a common thing. Okay, there's a common thing. We can take the common thing outside. This step is just like, for example, ax minus a plus 1a. Okay, is 0. We can take outside a outside, x minus 1. Bracket is a common factor, so still we can take the bracket outside. So it becomes x plus 5. The remaining things is x minus. Pay attention that if there is a single thing, you can imagine there is a 1 before that. So x minus 1 is 0. Okay, so we have the same step, and then answer is of course x minus 5 or x plus x is 0 to 1. Okay, in these questions, we have two ways to solve the equations. The first one seems to be easier, but I want to emphasize that in some cases, if there is a common factor, okay, we can use the skill of broken terms to make the calculation easier. The first one is too easy, so you don't feel we need to use broken terms. But we can see question 2. Question number 2 is a little bit complicated than the first one. Of course, you can multiply the brackets in the left hand side and the right hand side, but I think it is not the best choice. We have 7t plus 1 as a common factor. 7t plus 1 square minus 7t plus 1. 4 minus t is equal to 0. Okay, 7t plus 1 is a common factor. You can compare, for example, a square minus ab is 0. Okay, if a square minus ab is 0, I think you know that the next step should be take a outside. The t plus 1 is a bracket. You can regard it as a number. You can take it outside. So the whole thing, 7t plus 1, take outside. Okay, a is 7t plus 1. So a must be. So the next step is 7t plus 1 minus 4 minus t is 0. Please pay attention that I have used two brackets to contain 7t plus 1 minus 4 minus t, because the sign is minus. So we need to be more careful. We need to change the sign of the second brackets. Okay, simplify the second brackets. 8t minus v is 0. Okay, separate two brackets. The first answer is negative 1 over t, 7. The second is 3 over h. Finish. Two examples, we have the chance to use the skill of grouping terms to see the questions and see whether they are common factor. If they are common factor, you may think that perhaps you can use the skill of grouping terms. Question number 3 is another type. 4m plus 1 square is equal to 11 minus m square. There are no common factors. This equation is quite similar to a square is equal to b square. Okay, you can view 4m plus 1 is a and 11 minus m as b. Okay, if it is this case, we can move b square to the left hand side and then simplify it by using the identity. Okay, a plus b times a minus b. Okay, bear in mind that a is 4m plus 1, b is 11 minus m square. 4m plus 1 square minus 11 minus m square is 0. Okay, so 4m plus 1 plus 11 minus m minus 4m plus 1. I prefer to use a brackets. Okay, whenever the sign in the middle is minus. Okay, the first bracket becomes 3m plus 12. The second bracket, we simplify the bracket first. Minus 11 plus m. Okay, we change the sign in the second bracket. Okay, 3m plus 12, 5m minus 10 is 0. So we can separate into two parts, or 5m minus 10 is 0. Okay, so m is negative 12 over 3, that is negative 4. M is 10 over 5, m is 2. This example shows you that if the form is a square is equal to b square, we can move to the left hand side and use the identity like this. In question number 4, there are two parts. The first part is to solve x squared plus 13x plus 36 is 0. Use a calculator, or of course you can use course method. This one seems to be quite easy. Okay, 4 times 9, the sum of them is 13. So s plus 4, s plus 9 is 0. So s plus 4. So s is likely 4, or s is likely 9. In part B, we are going to use the result of A to solve these equations. Now let's compare part A and part B. They are quite similar in the way that the coefficients are the same, the signs are the same. 1, 13, 36, 1, 13, 36, plus, 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 plus. Okay, all the same. But the only difference between them is that in part B, we no longer have s squared plus 13s. Instead, we have 2s squared minus 9s. Okay, 2s squared minus 9s. You can imagine if we change 2s squared minus 9s to another letter like A, the equations will become a squared plus 13a plus 36 is 0, right? So we try to simplify these equations by use the a to replace 2s squared minus 9s. Okay, like this. Let a is equal to 2s squared minus 9s. Okay, so the equation become a squared plus 13a plus 36 is 0. Okay, and then we use the result of A, because in part A we already have the answer of s squared plus 13s plus 36. Okay, so we can jump from here to the answer. So A is equal to negative 4, or A is equal to negative 9. We substitute back to the equations. So 2s squared minus 9s plus 4 is 0. And then the other part, or 2s squared minus 9s plus 9 is 0. Okay, then we solve the equations by a calculator. We have done the calculator thing. S is 4, or s is equal to 1 over 2. S minus 4 is 0, or s minus 1 over 2 is 0. So s minus 4. The other one is log s minus 1 over 2. We time 2. 2s minus 1 is 0. Okay, how about the other side? This time I use course method. S2s phi. Okay. Anyway, you can use your calculator, of course. Okay, s minus phi, 2s minus phi. So s minus phi is 0, or 2s minus phi is 0. So s is phi, or s is equal to phi over 2. Finish. Let's move to another type of questions. In question 5 and 6, we are required to form a quadratic equation in S with each of the following pairs of words. Actually, we are given equation as squared plus bs plus c is equal to 0. And then we use course method, or we use a calculator, and some steps. After several steps, we have answer. Answer S is D, or S is equal to E. Okay, given equations, and then you solve the equations and get the answer. In question number 5 and number 6, we are going to do the opposite thing. Okay, that is, we are given the roots, and then go back to find the equations in S. Okay, how do we do that? It's quite simple. The first steps, S is negative 7. We copy the two roots, and then to form the equations, we just need to write the answer backward. Okay, that is x plus 7 is 0, or x plus 2 is 0, and then multiply them as a product, and then expand the brackets. X squared plus 2x plus 7x plus 14 is 0. Okay, x times these two guys, and 7 times x and 2, we have x squared plus 2x plus 9, 7x plus 14. Combine the 2x. Calculation should not be new to you, because in the last episode and this episode, we always use calculator to find the answer first and write the answer backward. This time we don't need to write backward because the question are different. Because the question gives us the roots and we are required to form the equation. So this time we don't need to write backwardly, we write forwardly. Okay, let's do one more examples. In question number 6, we are given these two answers. Okay, x is 1 over 4, or x is equal to negative 1 over 4. 4 times x, and move 1 to the right hand side. 4x plus 1 is 0. And then 4x minus 1, 4x plus 1. Okay, now it's in the form of a minus b times a plus b. So we can use the result of a squared minus b squared. So a squared minus b squared. Now pay attention that you need to write the bracket. 4x squared is 4x times 4x. So 14x squared minus 1, the answer is 0. And here, we have learned the factor method, and we have seen some situations in which we need to use broken terms or identity to simplify the equations. The next topic will be quadratic formula. See you until next time. Bye bye.